Chapter 10. Clearing Misconceptions. The one thing I love about Fridays is that it was the day that students would leave school rather than hang around. They would either go shopping, to Starbucks, or just go somewhere to hang out and celebrate the fact that it was the weekend. That fact came quite clear as soon as I stepped into the school's library. There were only a handful of students in here. Normally, it would be packed with students doing homework, but they knew that they have the entire week for homework, so not much students stayed over. The students that were in here were either reading a book or a few bookworms, studying. I, on the other hand, was coming up here to pass time. Today was the day that Sarah and I were going shopping. I was looking forward to spending time with her and seeing what kind of person she was. I actually felt bad that it took a year for us to do something like this. Sarah told me that she was going to pick me up from school at 3:30. I had an hour to spare, so I decided to go up to the library to wait. I walked over to the reading books section and took up a book to read. The book that I chose was Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. This was one of my favorite books, so I know it will help me pass the time. I took a seat at a table by myself and began to read. A few minutes later, I was so engaged in the book that I did not notice someone standing in front of me. The person was there for a few minutes, until I heard my name loudly. Emily. I was pulled from the book and I look up instantly. My eyes widen in surprise as I saw Tyler standing in front of me with an amused look on his face. Wow, you sure do block out when you are reading. I've been clearing my throat and calling your name for the past 2 minutes. Tyler, what are you doing here? I ask after my shock dissipated a little. I didn't expect to ever see Tyler in a place like this. How did you know I was up here? I saw your friend Victoria before she left. She told me you were on your way up here. He sat in the seat in front of me and looked around. So, this is the library. I wasn't surprised that he hadn't been up here before. Yes, Tyler, this is the library. I tease, gesturing around me with my hands. This is where books are kept and also where you do your research. Are you mocking me, Samuels? Tyler asked, a smirk on his lips. I gave him an innocent look. Nope. I took up the book I was reading and put a page marker inside before closing it. Now, how can I help you? Tyler shook his head before resting his hands on the table. I need a favor. Look up at him, raising my eyebrows curiously. What could you possibly need now? I ask, not sure I would like the answer. I need help with my maths homework. Ms. Dildo says that if I don't do well on this homework, I'll have to come over in the Christmas holiday for extras lessons. I'm not really down for that, because I have better things to do with my time. He said. I look at him confused. Who the hell was Ms. Dildo? As soon as I ask myself, it came to me. Are you referring to Ms. Delendo? I ask. Yes, her. He answered and I shake my head. Most student in the school calls her that behind her back. This is because, when her name is pronounced, it sounds a lot like, dildo, and once students picked up on the underlying naughtiness of her name, they started with it. How did you know that I'm any good at maths? Because you're in advanced maths class. He said in a voice that says, clearly, that's the obvious answer. And this couldn't wait until tomorrow, because. I ask, hoping he will wait until then, so I could get back to my book. I want to get it over with, so I can have the weekend to myself. He answered. I sigh. Okay then, let me see the homework. Tyler got up from the seat. A few seconds later he returned with a book in his hand. He opened the book to a page and placed it in front of me. I glance at the homework, before looking back at him. This is what you are having problems with? Chapter 11. Outing Hidden Secrets. When you and a person are best friend for a long time, you tend to know a lot about them and is able to pick up on small things. That was how it has always been between Victoria and I. She could always tell when something was up with me or when I wasn't in the mood, and I could do the same with her. We were able to read each other's expressions and moods so well that people would say that we were like two peas in a pod, but were totally different. I guess that is what happens when you are friends with someone for as long as we are. Right now was one of those times I could tell that something was up. Tori was laying on my bed beside me, staring at the ceiling. I've been talking to her, but her attention was elsewhere. She was obviously distracted by something. Are you even hearing a word I'm saying? I said to get her attention, but didn't get any response. I look around at her to see that she was still spaced out. She looked to be deep in thought. It wasn't just today too, she has been like this since yesterday at school too. She would be deep in thought and sometimes she would set like she wanted to tell me something and then at the last minute decided against it. Now was no different. It was Saturday and she was still quiet and thoughtful. We went to a cafe to grab milkshakes, which she was craving, and then we came to my house, where she barely said 2 words. Something was definitely troubling her. I was beginning to worry. I didn't like seeing her like this, so I call her name softly and nudge her side. Snapping out of her daze, she finally turned to face me. "Tori, what's wrong?" I asked quietly. She looked at me for quite a while, before she sat up on the bed facing me. She grabbed one of my pillows and hugged it to her chest. I sat up as well, resting my back on the pillow behind me. This must be serious, because Tori has never hesitated to tell me anything before. "I have to tell you something, Emily. I can't keep it to myself anymore. I feel guilty not telling you," she said, her voice sounding nervous. "What is it?" I asked as I felt my heart drop. I have to admit, now I was getting extremely worried. Tori looked down at her hands that she was playing with and after a few seconds, which seemed longer, she looked at me. "I don't know how to tell you this. I'm a lesbian," she finally said. I felt like a big load has been lifted from my chest as I released a breath that I didn't know I was holding. "Tori, you scared me. I thought you were going to tell me that you were pregnant or have cancer or something," I said as relief washed over me. "Girl, I don't care who you are attracted to. That doesn't matter. You are Victoria, my best friend, and that would never change." Tori released a breath too and smiled brightly. Now, that was the Victoria I knew. "Thank you for not judging me," she said, then pulled me in a hug. I smile and hug her tighter. When she sat back in her position, I slap her on her arm. "Ouch," she whines, rubbing her arm. "What was that for? You should have known I wouldn't have a problem with that. You know me," I accused. "You're right. I'm sorry for doubting you," she said, apologetically. I laugh a little. "It's okay. I'm just glad you told me now." She smiled brighter. "We good?" I gave her a wide grin. "Always." At the end of the day on Monday, I left the school's building and turned in the direction of home. This morning Tyler told me that his car was at a garage, so my stepmother gave me a ride to school. Now, I didn't feel like taking the bus. I wanted to walk and enjoy the nice breeze that the day offers. It was only a 20-minute walk anyways. I didn't bother waiting on Tyler, because he'd probably get a ride with Seth. Plus, I don't think anyone noticed me, leaving school alone. I was only a few distance from school, when I heard someone walk up behind me. I look around and saw that it was Tyler. "You don't need to walk with me, you know." He came beside me. "Yes, I do. It's going to look weird if you walk home alone and I leave with Seth." Chapter 12. Locked out. Tyler and I walk on in comfortable silence. I was ahead of him walking with my head down and he was a few steps behind me. We had about 5 minutes before we reached our houses. Walking in silence, I couldn't help my mind from wandering. Currently, I was trying to figure out Logan. Today in science class, he slipped me a piece of paper. On it, he was once again asking for another chance, complimented with a sad face. I had tossed it in the bin on my way out of the class without giving him a second glance. However, since I've received the note, I've been trying to figure him out. He was seeing Trisha behind my back for 3 months. If he cared about me at all, he would have ended it sometime between those months. So why was he so intent on getting me back now? Logan was not an easy person to understand. He has never let me in much or spoke about his feelings. I really want to know why he cheated on me in the first place. Did I do something wrong? Was I a bad girlfriend? I was brought from my thoughts by Tyler's voice. "What are you thinking about so intently?" he asked. He was now walking beside me. I was so deep in thought, that I didn't notice that he was walking beside me again. I was thinking about Logan. I answered honestly. Why are you thinking about him? He questioned, pulling his brows in confusion. I was just wondering what I had done to make him did what he did. I confide. Oh. He was quiet for a while and then he asked. What did he do anyways? I looked down and kicked a small pebble that was in my path. He was cheating on me for 3 months. I walk in on him and some girl making out at school. I shake my head. Whoa, he cheated on you? Given the fact that he want you back so bad, I thought he had done something small. He reasoned. I just nodded my head and he added. I guess you are doing the right thing then. Yeah, is all I said. I look up and saw that my house was a few feet away. I was so distracted by our conversation that I didn't realize we had reached home. Tyler did not say anything more and I was glad for that, because I really didn't want to talk about Logan anymore. We continue the few distance that was left in silence. I bid goodbye to Tyler and walk over to my house, while he continued the journey over to his. While I walked to the door, I began to dig my hand in my backpack for my keys. When I finally reached the door, I was still searching through my bag. Where the hell is my keys? I searched every compartment and still didn't find it. I let out a frustrated sigh as I came to the conclusion that I had left it this morning. What was I going to do? My dad was still at work and Sarah was still at work and I had no idea when they were coming home. In desperation, I began to search my bag again to make sure. Without any luck, I lean my head on the door and close my eyes. Having some trouble over there, princess? I heard Tyler ask from next door. I open my eyes and look over at him, leaning on his front door. His arms were crossed and he had a teasing smile on his lips. If you are making fun of me, Tyler, I just want you to know that it's not funny. I shot at him. He just started laughing. He had the nerve. You know, I'm glad you find this funny. Still chuckling, he uncrossed his arms and leaned from the door. You can come and stay over here, he suggested. I gave him a "Are you serious" look, but I doubt he saw it from where he stood. Why would I do that? I asked. Because, it's better than sitting in front of your house all evening. He replied. I look over at him and I knew he was right. A knowing smirk appeared on his face as he saw my expression. He knew that he won and he was enjoying it. Damn him. Sighing heavily, I took up my bag from off the porch where I had put it. Fine, I said, as I began to walk to his house. When I got to his house, he was still smiling in all his annoying glory. I know you couldn't resist me, he said. I glare at him. Would you shut up and open the damn door? I commanded. He held up his hands in surrender.